If you are at 250,000 or less in generated income level in sales and you feel stuck, this video is for you. Hi, my name is Mick. I'm in sales basically my whole life, learned everything the hard way, the ups and downs. I'm not just a life coach and sales coach, but I'm also a student myself because I believe in never quit learning, never quit advancing, and so should you. Okay, in this video, I want to talk about the evolution in sales. Basically, my evolution, what I learned, how I basically became one of the top elite earners in the country. So the steps what I'm talking about, the different levels of excellence, I basically went through the whole process myself, and when I explain them, maybe you can see yourself in one of those levels and drop a comment below. I would be curious, like in which level do you see yourself in right now? So how to become one of the elite top 5% earners in the industry? Well, for sure, there's no shortcut. You have to take really literally every step of the ladder. And I will explain all the steps right now and outline them. So first of all, you have to become good. Most of companies out there will train you the basics. They basically tell you everything about the product you got to know. Yeah, they train you how to approach a customer. They train you all the stuff what makes you quite good. Okay. Now that income level can anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000 a month. So to become better, that is usually something what you have to do on your own. Your company might not help you there. So what I did to become better back then is to start learning. I was buying books. I cannot even tell you how many books I read about sales. Now today, the beauty is, and I still do that, YouTube is there. So you can literally, before you start to drive to your appointment, and keep in mind, it takes me about an hour to drive to my clients. In that hour, I'm not listening to the news. I'm not listening to music. I listen to podcasts about sales. I listen to other sales coaches. And quite often, I learn still something from anybody. And so that I'm not constantly interrupted by the commercial on YouTube, I actually bought the subscription. It's just $10 or $13, who cares? But at least then, the full hour, you can listen to one of the sales coaches and maybe even to mine. And then you have 1 hour of learning time. Now, keep in mind though, just because you hear something through the audio while you're driving, that doesn't mean you learned it already. So you really have to listen to that video over and over again, and then even rehearse it, right? So to become better, you have to practice a lot. There's no way around that, because just because you heard it, it's not in your brain right away, and it's not being translated to your action. So keep on listening to those videos, and even when you are not driving anymore, write everything down what you learned. And the way the brain works, once you write it down, it becomes more yours, and you can more understand what it is, what was said, and then really practice to become better. That's a very important part. And to become better usually starts with objection handling. That's kind of like the way it goes, right? So when you're good, you will receive some objections in the end of the appointment. Now, in order to become better, now you have to start to handle those objections. And that is basically the first step. So listen to objection handling broadcasts or YouTube videos, and then you learn how to handle objections. Now, keep in mind though, obviously there are lots of objections out there, and there are way different ways, more than one, how to handle those. Now, if you really want to become one of the best, you have to know more than just one way and one objection handling. So you have to know multiple ways to overcome objections, not just one. And once you're fluent with that, then you're ready for the next step. And that is actually to become one of the best. Means, not the elite yet, but one of the best means that you actually prevent those objections from becoming up in the first place. Now, an objection is always backpedaling basically, right? So you are trying to handle it, but it's quite tough. You're always backstepping, and it's sometimes working, but it's usually a big resistance from the customer. Now, if you prevent that objection from coming up in the first place, well, that's where the best come in. So to prevent objections, to be coming up in the first place, you got to learn why the customer or why people actually buy stuff. Now, this is one very good or very important psychological part. People buy things what they really want. What they really want, they would move mountains to get it if they really want it. And price usually becomes secondary. So to give you a good example how I learned that emotions really come first and they basically guide your decisions and money becomes secondary. Let me share this personal story with you for a minute. So here it goes. About 20 years ago, I ran into this beautiful young lady in New York, and she became later my wife. That is the shortcut. But now here, what happened in between? Now, since I'm from Germany originally, I live here for the last 20 years now, hint, hint. So when I met her, I actually, we fell in love, and I was flying actually from Germany to the United States once a month to see her. So that is already $1,000 a month on flight tickets on average, right? And the week or 10 days I was here in the States, I was self-employed in Germany. I didn't even make any money at that time in Germany because I was here. So my income shrunk a little bit, but also I spent $1,000 extra now just to see her. You can tell emotions evolve, right? They guide your decisions and money comes secondary. So I did this for 8 months. And through that time, while I was in Germany, of course, we were on the phone. I had a cell phone, she had a cell phone, and back then it was not unlimited text and talk and nothing like that. So there was also no FaceTime or nothing. So my phone bill was $1,800 on average a month. So there was like almost $3,000 more on expense a month for 8 months. And my income was actually a little bit lesser because I only was working roughly, 20 days in Germany. So can you see how money became secondary because emotions, 100% emotions were involved? There was nothing logical in that, right? So, but that, looking back, that taught me that if a human being really wants something, what they really desire, what they really want, what they can imagine and picture themselves, then money always becomes secondary. So especially important if you're a high-ticket closer like me. Share with you in a different video what I'm doing, actually what I'm selling. But if you're a high-ticket closer, you gotta disconnect yourself from the amount of money the customer is spending. Because if the emotions evolve, if they really see themselves with whatever the result will be, then money becomes secondary. And now to sum that portion up, so emotions is super important, and objection handling. You have to prevent the objections from coming up in the first place. And also a way you can do that is by talking about the objections or the portions or the theme of that. Basically, whatever could come up in the end, talk about that early on. As earlier you kill Godzilla, as better it is. You don't want to wait till the end and then handle those objections. You want to kill them before they even grow, okay? Last but not least, how to become from the best to become one of the elite. Now, your income will tenfold if you can master this. And it's a process. It's not, again, no shortcut. You have to go through the whole process. But the elite basically is, if you do everything what we said so far, and you know everything, you will be so good that you can't be bad anymore because you learned everything. But now you got to drop that script. Become scriptless. Become so fluent in what you do that you can have a truthful, completely natural conversation with a prospect. It comes across to the prospect so naturally that the guards come down, they start to trust you earlier, and you basically make a friend, and it doesn't feel exhausting anymore at all. It's becoming fluent, you will have much more fun, but that is again only possible if you learned everything we just spoke about. And I can help you with that if you like to. Now I understand you watched this video because you might feel stuck somewhere in between. Now, again, drop a comment below in the comment section. I would like to know where you see yourself in these levels. Are you good? Are you better? Are you already the best? I help you to become the elite. And when I'm going through the comments, I promise I will answer, and I will make the next video especially for you. Okay? Now, if you like this video, if you think you got some kind of value out of it, share it with a friend who you think they might be in the same position or they might need some help. I'm glad to help everybody I come across, and I see you next one. Let's go.